Tom that they need to be fighting for the undisputed title. The White House, it's special. Tom is out. Let's get Pereira versus Surreal, and let's do it for the belt. Well, I think we're close on that. I just think it's the interim belt. And there was some discussion going around that Tom had been asked to vacate the title. The way the story goes is that the UFC asked Tom, vacate the title. You do it. It's a PR thing, right? I mean, it's our belt. We take it back whenever we want, but that's not what we want to do.
Dana White exploded. Tom Aspinall, the interim champ, flat out refused to vacate his title. The UFC wanted it back for a tiny PR thing, a smooth transition for Alex Pereira's heavyweight dream. But Aspinall's defiance shattered those plans. This wasn't just about gold, it was a power move, ripping through the UFC's authority. The White House megacard? Now in jeopardy. Pereira's legacy? Suddenly complicated. Dana's vision collided head-on with an unyielding force, turning a crafted narrative into open war. The silence after Aspinall's no was deafening, signaling a seismic shift in power. This single decision unleashed chaos, forcing everyone to rethink their strategy.
Release me. I'll vacate if you release me. I like your idea. I hear everything you're saying. We can have a discussion about re-signing and coming back in and getting my belt, but it'll keep my options open. If you want me to do this, here's what I want. Now, first off, that doesn't seem like something Tom would say, but this is the way the story goes. And if Tom did say that, respect, because he's standing up for himself. And Tom has the right to stand up for himself, because people do have a very short-term memory on how Tom got to where Tom got. I think they forget that he tore his knee against Curtis Blades.
The UFC asked Tom to vacate, not demanded. They spun it as a necessary PR move, a simple exchange, but it was a power grab. It's our belt, we take it back, was the unspoken message. Aspinall's alleged response, if true, was pure fire. Release me. I'll come back, get my belt, keep my options open. Here's what I want. This wasn't typical Tom, yet it resonated. He was drawing a line, daring the promotion to cross it, revealing a champion unwilling to be a mere pawn. The UFC's smooth operation just hit an immovable object, creating instant friction and undeniable drama.
Never even got outside the first. Got his confidence back, got his momentum back, started to build some steam. I mean, all the stuff he did, he's on a trajectory, he agrees to John Jones, he doesn't hold anybody up for money, he doesn't hold anybody up for time. I mean, he's doing anything that he can do. And frankly, he did everything right. He was a massive team player. He was a massive star. I think you might forget how he captured the interim title in the first place. I think that you might forget about the fight against Sergey Pavlich, where Tom was in England. They put this thing together so fast that Tom's wife couldn't even come and join him. And this is a moment, Madison Square Garden, this is a moment for the family, for the sacrifice of the family.
Respect. That's the word. If Tom truly pushed back, it was for good reason. People have a tragically short memory. They forget the brutal price Aspinall paid to get here, tearing his knee against Curtis Blades. A career-altering injury, sidelining him, testing his resolve, forcing a grueling comeback. This wasn't an easy path, it was soul-crushing recovery. His interim title isn't a trinket, it's a testament to sacrifice, his ultimate title advantage, forged in pain. To ask him to meekly surrender it for someone else's dream of White House supercard glory is an insult to his entire journey.
Interesting thing, now I know that Tom wants to box, and that's where you can overplay your hand. There is no boxing out there for Tom. There's no boxing out there for any of them. And boxing also is not what they think. It is not just this huge payday, and it's none of these things that they think that it is. And you do have those outlier stories. You do have a McGregor versus Mayweather, but McGregor versus Mayweather didn't happen because McGregor stood up to the UFC. McGregor versus Mayweather happened and was a success because the greatest carnival barker of all time.
Meanwhile, Alex Pereira faces his own brutal reality. Time is running out for his light heavyweight reign. The infamous weight cut is crushing him, visibly etched on his face. Everyone's murmuring about a massive switch to heavyweight, a genuinely thrilling, perilous gamble. Dana White, eyes gleaming, envisions Poat on a huge White House megacard, chasing an undisputed champion. This isn't just about another belt, it's a historic instant, a legacy-defining moment. But this vision directly clashes with Aspinall's unyielding stance, creating tension that could either elevate Pereira or expose a desperate escape from his current reality.
We're willing to take a gamble on it. I mean, I'm only sharing for you they're now partners with the UFC. That opportunity's not there. And I don't want to rain on Tom at all. I'm just sharing, if you can box and you can do MMA, it's the same commissions, it's the same process, just by example. And the opportunity would be in MMA. There is no world title opportunity in boxing. There's also no big paycheck in boxing. This is fiction. But Tom would have those options open, and if that's important to him.
Aspinall's interim championship is not merely a stand-in, it is his true weapon against Dana White's constant power moves and the UFC's vast plans. This isn't just about gold, it concerns dominance, his heritage, and the fundamental power dynamics within the UFC itself. His defiance isn't simple stubbornness, it's a deeply considered tactical maneuver. It's designed to either validate him as the unquestioned ruler or unintentionally reveal uncomfortable truths about the promotion's control. Aspinall understands the brutal cost of injury, and he's not messing about. Every single action here matters, profoundly, in this high-stakes game.
Something that it'd be a little out of line for the way that Tom would normally operate. So keep that thought and do what you would like with it. But now let's take a look at Alex Pereira, because if Pereira is going to go to if he is going to go to heavyweight, then he needs to be a heavyweight. I don't think that Pereira would disagree with me. I don't think that Pereira would have any problem giving the 205-pound.
Remember how Tom captured that interim title? It wasn't handed to him. The fight against Sergey Pavlovich in England came together so fast, his wife couldn't even join him. This was Madison Square Garden, a monumental family moment. Tom did everything right. He was a massive team player, a rising star, a loyal company man. He didn't hold anybody up for money or autonomy. He seized the opportunity, performing flawlessly, getting his confidence and momentum back after a devastating injury. Now that same loyalty is being tested, and his hard-earned triumph is suddenly perceived as an inconvenient obstacle.
Working with the company, he goes into business for himself, he gives the belt back. This wasn't greatly perceived, but it's John, and there's a little room here, and then he sat for 3 years. For 3 years, he stayed out trying to gain the size to be heavyweight. Very humble thing for John to do, because frankly, John could have stepped in and won that heavyweight belt with no time off, but I'm just telling the story the way that it happened. So if Pierre is to do the exact same thing, I'm the light heavyweight champ, I want to pursue the heavyweight championship. Hey, by the way, I don't need any time. Let's go. I can fight light heavyweight on this date, or I can fight heavyweight. Either way, let's go. Gangster move. Very in line with what Alex Pereira does.
Pereira's quest for the major heavyweight belt and White House card outwardly appears solely focused on building his own legacy and stuffing Dana White's treasury. He wants to be a clear two-weight champion, but Tom Aspinall, with world-class fighting intellect, is sharp enough to pierce any storyline. He's emerged as the ultimate disruptor, the monster to what many anticipate as a flawless Poitin legend. Pereira's stress isn't solely about completing the tough light heavyweight cut anymore. It's transformed into outright mental combat, launched by an interim champ who isn't merely posing questions. He's demanding direct answers.
I don't think that we're looking at quite right. I don't think it's bad if they fight for the interim championship at all. At all. I think that's great. I do think if Pereira and Cyril fight, there's got to be a belt. It needs to be scheduled for a potential 5-round. Pereira is the champion of the world. If the champion of the world fights, a championship of the world's got to be on the line. That can be the interim. But as opposed to the idea that, hey, it's got to be Tom's belt. Nothing personal, Tom. We got to move on, and it's got to be for the undisputed championship. No, I don't agree with that. But I would agree that of that scenario, the one that does have to be stripped or to vacate the belt would be Pereira. And I don't think that Pereira would disagree.
Aspinall discussing boxing, issuing those open challenges? That's just chatter, sheer diversion. He comprehends the true stakes better than anyone. There's no boxing world title opportunity or big paycheck for most MMA fighters. It's fiction. McGregor versus Mayweather was an outlier, a success because of Mayweather, the greatest carnival barker, not because McGregor defied the UFC. Tom's provisional heavyweight strap has surprisingly become a keen negotiating asset in this intricate power game. His boxing talk is simply a strategic chess move, designed to maintain leverage and keep his options open in this complex situation.
I don't care in the least. Let those guys get on with it. If it doesn't work out at heavyweight and I want to go back here, I'll come in, and whoever's champion, I'll see you. I mean, in the words of Israel Adesanya, you deal with that monster.
Pereira moving up isn't solely a change in weight class. It's about perhaps evading the fierce mental combat Aspinall presents. Tom is a forceful, strategic beast who doesn't only seek a title, he aims to expose you, to shatter you. Do you truly believe Pereira genuinely desires to face Aspinall's explosive might and unyielding speed, having already subjected his physique to extreme duress? This goes beyond titles. It's deeply concerning one's legacy, the strategic acumen needed to avert a potentially career-changing defeat, and acknowledging who truly dictates power dynamics in this harsh, relentless sport. Pereira's team grasps the harsh reality. This light heavyweight drop he's been doing, it's brutal. It's wearing him out, physically and mentally. Relinquishing his belt for a bold jump to heavyweight expressly for a White House event payout is more than a career step. It's a tactical withdrawal from constant struggle, a shrewd risk to avoid perilous dangers in his present division. This unstated motive isn't solely about a fresh challenge. Instead, it's fleeing the grueling, spirit-breaking truth of a class he scarcely fits while aiming to cement his legend as a clear two-weight champion. Here's the point the UFC brass can't disregard. You can't simply abandon a division neatly, particularly not with Tom Aspinall already there. Tom is no mere name within the rankings. He's a genuine, clearly perilous stylistic problem for virtually anyone. He is a challenge so massive, so unmistakable, that even Dana White, with all his marketing power, can't just ignore him. Tom understands his immense leverage, the sheer raw power of his current position. The situation renders Pereira's potential exit plan neither simple nor direct. Aspinall's mere existence acts as mental torment, driving a giant like Pereira toward agonizing decisions. Pereira appears ready for anything. I'm a light heavyweight shape. I want to pursue the heavyweight championship. And by the way, I don't even need time. Let's go. I can fight light heavyweight on this stage, or I can fight heavyweight either way. Let's go. A true gangster move, very in line with Alex Pereira's persona. You might think, wow, what a bold champion. But look closer. This apparent fearlessness is shifting, transforming from a confident declaration to a painful predicament. The burden on Poetin to safeguard his existing championship is crushing, especially with a legitimate, highly dangerous stylistic adversary. With a legitimate, highly dangerous stylistic adversary in his own division, one has to question if Pereira might be trying to sidestep that particular test. Dana White truly favors brand events and substantial profits, yet a title holder deserting his weight class, as Aspinall openly calls him out, generates huge political strain. This is a predicament for the UFC to manage. Therefore, is Pereira's celebrated combat intelligence truly dodging that particular dangerous clash with Aspinall? The possibility hangs heavy in the air, a shadow over his bold ambition, forcing a difficult choice for his legacy. You have to ask yourself, with brutal honesty, what's the genuine price of pursuing that other belt, that premier ambition, when the first one, the title he now holds, remains quite unprotected? This isn't just a simple calculation. It's an inquiry that strikes at the true heart of what it means to be a champion. Is it about conquering every challenge, or making the smartest, most strategic moves for longevity and legacy? Pereira's renowned fight intelligence in this scenario is guiding him to forego his light heavyweight heritage, all for the prospect of a colossal heavyweight payday. Let's face the harsh, uncomfortable truth. Alex Pereira's light heavyweight journey is swiftly turning into a countdown. That infamously harsh weight cut will ultimately defeat him. You can observe the strain it causes, clearly marked on his eyes and physique. So relinquishing that title is far more than simply yielding to Thomas Aspinall's rising claim as the proper heavyweight challenger. No, this represents a deliberate strategic withdrawal, a repositioning for a much, much grander fight. We are speaking of an absolute full-scale heavyweight war, but one carefully chosen on Pereira's terms, or so it appears. Dana White isn't merely eyeing simple title defenses. He's detecting the enticing scent of a legacy-forging monumental White House mega event. He sees the dollars, the headlines, the historic narrative of a two-weight champion. The genuine psychological conflict unfolding is if Pereira can effectively exit light heavyweight without appearing to flee a challenge, given Aspinall's camp portrays him as exactly that. Dana wants the spectacle, but Aspinall demands respect, creating a delicate balancing act for the promoter. This is high-stakes chess, where every move is scrutinized for its broader implications. This, my friends, is exactly where title pressure either crushes a fighter with its vast burden, or in peak competition's forge, shapes them into an unyielding legend. Pereira's move is a desperate, high-stakes wager for his legacy, profoundly swayed, if not explicitly forced, by the UFC itself. He will unquestionably battle giants, but solely once his own physique has already contested and prevailed in the half-fight of making weight. that regrettably renders him disadvantaged before even reaching the cage in light heavyweight, which speaks volumes about the enormous pressure of a championship. In Israel Adesanya's words, "You can deal with that monster." Here, Aspinall is emerging as the monster Izzy famously cautioned. He is an apparently unbreakable obstacle positioned right in Poatin's path. Aspinall's heartless, absolute purpose is clear, challenging the very foundation of the heavyweight class. Pereira's decision, perhaps compelled bodily to the heavyweight class toward that colossal White House and total supremacy, faces an unyielding truth in Aspinall. This isn't just a casual career shift, it's a desperate, high-stakes wager for his legacy, forced by circumstance and a formidable rival. This isn't entirely unprecedented. John Jones, a former light heavyweight champion, sat for 3 years trying to gain the size for heavyweight. It was a humble thing for John to do because he probably could have won that heavyweight belt with no time off, but he took the time to do it right. Pereira seems to be pursuing the exact same thing, a shift for a new challenge, and perhaps to achieve something similar to what Jones did. However, Aspinall's presence throws a giant wrench into what might have been a smoother, more calculated transition for the champion. The burden on Poatin to safeguard his existing championship is immense. With a legitimate, highly dangerous stylistic adversary in his own division, one has to question if he might be trying to sidestep that particular test. Dana White truly favors brand events and substantial profits, yet a title holder deserting his weight class, as Aspinall openly calls him out, generates huge political strain. This is a story predicament for the UFC to manage. It's not just a fight, it's a political minefield for the organization, threatening their narrative control and creating a chaotic situation. The debate rages. If Pereira and Cyril Gane or another contender fight, should it be for an interim belt, or should Aspinall's interim be elevated to undisputed? Dana White wants Pierre versus Cyril for the belt, a path requiring Aspinall to step aside. Nothing personal, Tom. We gotta move on for the undisputed championship. But the narrator disagrees, arguing that if a belt must be stripped or vacated, it would be Pereira's. The champion fights for the championship, meaning a belt must be on the line. Whose and what kind remains the critical, unresolved question in this high-stakes power play. What precisely are we observing right now? Past the shine of the titles and the hyped-up stories, we're watching the harsh, relentless computation of supreme dominance unfold, live. Tom Aspinall's not just vying for a championship, he's compelling the whole setup of the heavyweight class and even the UFC to yield to his resolute drive. His mere existence acts as mental torment, continually driving a giant like Pereira toward agonizing, life-altering decisions. This isn't only concerning whose strikes carry greater impact, it's deeply about the combat intellect needed to maneuver your personal, harsh truth in a brutal, unforgiving sport. This spectacle reveals the fragile, almost invisible distinction among an athlete's heritage, intense desire, and the harsh truth of bodily constraints. It's about understanding when to execute a tactical withdrawal, when to risk it all, and when to face the beast directly. Dana White may control outcomes, yet individuals like Aspinall represent the tempest, the irresistible power of nature that transforms all. In contests, as in existence, there will ever be an Aspinall seeking your utmost performance, revealing weaknesses, and compelling your move. The vital inquiry, will you collapse beneath that enormous burden or grasp it, master its strength, and rise?